Hello, Chef. So for the last pairing of my prefix menu, I decided to go with it's called an ultimate chocolate cake, and I'm pairing that with vintage port. It's Dow's here. It's their late bottled vintage Porto from 2009. And here is the cake. You can see it. Very, very rich, very dense. One of my favorite chocolate cakes, actually. And the reason I decided to go with this is because throughout the class I have not paired a dessert with a sweet wine, and I figured I'd have some fun with this one and go with my favorite chocolate cake. I did try the wine already, and just to give you a little background of it, it is a very dark, you can see here, very, very dark color. It's very rich. As far as fruits, strawberries, blackberries, a little bit of fig. The quality is extremely ripe. Definitely, by looking at it, can tell that it's ripe. Cooked. Definitely get that cooked kind of jammy smell to it as well. And I didn't really pick up any floral in it. Maybe just a little, but nothing major in there. Also, a little bit of vanilla I picked up on, leathery, even a little balsamic. All those seem to be a little dominant in this particular wine. It did kind of taste a little earthy as well. I think it's just, with it being such a rich wine, maybe it picks up on that flavor of the soil. Also even a little balsamic taste. And no oakiness, I didn't pick up on any of that. The structure is definitely it's a very sweet wine. Just for sipping, I wouldn't be able to drink a lot of this. The acidic, you feel it. It is somewhat acidic. You feel it in the back of your throat, beginning of the palate, and as it goes down, you can kind of feel it going down. I think this is what's really going to help this wine, or the cake, because I know the cake is extremely dense and rich with the chocolate in there. So I'm excited to see how eating the cake and then drinking the wine and that acidicness, what that's going to do to the cake. Hopefully the cake is very, very sweet. So I'm also wondering to see how the sweetness of the port, what that does to the cake as well. My conclusion of the wine is it is from a hot, warm region. And I'm picking up on that with just the ripeness of it. Like I had mentioned, it is a port. I'm going to say that it's an old world, again, because of it being so rich and so flavorful. So that's the wine. We'll try the cake here. Show you the cake again. Try to get some of the frosting and the cake here all together. Very, very rich, but very smooth too. It is made with, it's almost like a chocolate buttercream kind of frosting. So that's very dense. You know, there's butter in there, and the cocoa powder. And I don't know if you can really tell, but near the cake, this is probably one of the most dense chocolate cakes that I've had, and I think that's what I love about it. Usually I drink a glass of milk with this, it's being so rich. I'll try it with the wine. Wow, that's good. It definitely changed the structure of the wine. I think with the cake being so sweet, the wine by itself was extremely sweet, but the cake is a lot sweeter than the wine, and the chocolate flavor definitely makes the wine milder in regards to the sweetness. That on its own, the wine, the acidicness, like I said, going down the throat, back of the palate, going down into the throat, really stood out. But eating the cake with it, I think definitely with the frosting, it makes that a lot milder. And now having the wine kind of aftertaste in your mouth and then going to the cake doesn't seem to be, it's still definitely very rich, but it also lightens this up too. It's amazing how this cake is extremely dense, but then having some of the wine with it, it does make it not feel as dense. Weird, kind of a lighter flavor. But it's amazing how the wine is sweet, but it's not like it was before. I'm going to try to actually do this. I'm going to go just frosting. You can see here, I'll show you. It's pretty much all really dense frosting, so the sweetest part of the cake here. I just love this cake. So the chocolate frosting, starts to melt in your mouth. So my whole palate is just covered, coated with chocolate. Now that's interesting. With just having the frosting, the acidicness came back at the finish of the wine. So I'm thinking having the cake and the frosting, the actual cake itself, the denseness of just cake is what's cutting through that acidicness of the wine. So that's good to know, because just having this with a chocolate bar, I realized that it's going to be acidic, more acidic than having chocolate frosting with the cake. It's actually, I find that really cool how that changed the profile of the wine. I got a little bit more here. So far, I think this is the best pairing that I've had. Oh, really good. Try another little bite here. Just I'm going to keep a little in my mouth with the wine. Very, very good. I would highly recommend this. So overall, these two items complement one another a lot. The richness, sweetness of the cake cuts through the sweetness of the wine. So there isn't one that's overpowering the other here. They complement each other in several different ways. The cake and the frosting there help cut through the acidicness of the wine, making the wine not so sweet. It does pick up think it helps draw out more of the berry flavor. The vanilla, I could get some of that taste in there. Kind of masks the leather and earthiness of drinking the wine on its own, which I'm not a big favor of those. So I like how the cake was able to do that. And as far as the wine helps the cake, makes the cake not as sweet as well. I like how I picked up on having just the frosting. Even that changes the dynamic of the wine, with it not being, or with it not cutting through the acidicness of the wine. If you are going to pair this with just chocolate, that in mind. I'd like to do a little bit more research on why just the cake, why that doesn't cut through it so much. But with the frosting and the cake paired together, I made it for a very interesting tasting. So again, this was a Dallas Port 2009. Very, very good. And ultimate chocolate cake. Thank you very much.